Hey everyone, so I on my Instagram asked for some questions to do a little Q&A. It's been some time since I've done a Q&A on here, and I got some really good questions, so I wanted to pick out a couple of those to answer here. And it's interesting because some of these questions have to do more with psychology, kind of the psychology behind a few things. So I really enjoy answering those types of questions. So I'm going to dive right into it. So first of all, one of the questions that I received was, what was the hardest thing when I decided not to compete in the near future? So I haven't competed since 2017, November. That was my last competition. And so it's been almost 2 years since I've competed, and I don't see myself competing again for a bit of time. At the earliest, maybe next year or 2021. We'll see where life takes me, but other things are just taking priority right now. And I would say probably the hardest thing about that was accepting the fact that I have to find contentment in just my journey outside of having something ahead of me. So I think a lot of times, especially in competitive bodybuilding or powerlifting, and those are the things that I've had obviously the most experience with, but I used to be a competitive track runner, and so in any sort of sport or endeavor similar to this, it's easy to just set your goals on or set your mind on the next goal, so the next meet, the next show, the next season, the next this, where you never really find contentment just in not competing and not having kind of the spotlight on you. And you almost get this encouragement and this artificial encouragement sort of, because people are sort of in awe of you when you're getting stage lean and that sort of thing. And so it's almost this kind of ego stoking thing that happens on social media when you're in a competition season, because people are oh my gosh, and people could mean well, but it's almost this extra attention you're getting. And so for anyone who's coming off being a competitive athlete and kind of going into a non-competitive season, it's hard to, I think, deal with that, not having a timeline in front of you, but then also to not having that sort of camaraderie, I guess you could say, from competing. So that's probably the most difficult thing about it that I've experienced in my off seasons, but it's definitely taught me a lot, and I've developed a lot of patience. So what are my long-term goals inside and outside of the fitness realm? This is a good question, because usually when I say what my goals are, they end up changing. 10 years ago, if I would have said what my goals were at that time, it would have been to be the best college track runner. Or wait, 10 years ago. Yeah, when I was 12 years ago, I would have been to be the best runner in the world and go to the Olympics. I would say my long-term goals, this is a little bit general, but my long-term goal is to make the biggest impact possible. So impact others as much as I can. And a lot of that has to do with bringing more people to God and bringing more people to understand the truth, because my eyes have definitely been open to the truth. And so helping other people see that for sure, and seeing the impact of having a faith and of trusting in God and believing in Jesus Christ. So I would say that is my long-term goal inside of fitness, wherever God takes me and wherever I'm led, and what will be best in order for me to be used for a greater purpose, I'd say. So kind of surrendering my goals to Him, wherever that takes me. I mean, to be honest, it would be nice to maybe compete again and do really well, but if it's not in the plan, then that's fine. This is a really good question. How do you reconcile the vanity element of bodybuilding with Christianity? So as a Christian, I definitely, as my faith has developed, I have changed in terms of how I present myself, what pictures I post on the internet. It's changed quite a bit. I didn't used to have kind of an awareness, I'd say, that maybe I do now, of like things that I've done in the past that I wouldn't do now, because I was like trying to glorify myself, if that makes sense. So of course that's a daily thing, and it can be this is what I usually say about kind of like vanity and that sort of thing. You have to be mindful of that in anything, like your job, your career, your family. Like, are you pursuing things for your own glory? Or are you pursuing things, pursuing gifts that God has given you in order to make a greater impact, if that makes sense? So for me, with the vanity element, it can get extremely out of control, especially being in the fitness industry, where it's body image, it's how your body looks, it's your physical is how people judge you, perceive you, right? However, the cool thing about this is that I've seen that as a huge opportunity to make a difference and to help people. So my clients, helping them, it's not just about the physical, it's about the journey and coaching them through that. I don't consider myself, I'm not a contest prep coach. I mean, of course I have some clients who are in contest prep, but I've actually, I'd say, gotten a little bit away from that in terms of the percentage of people that I prep versus the percentage of people that I work with who are more general fitness clients, because I have my passion, and I'd say my perspective has changed from more of a vanity, just how I look, versus, okay, looking, our body is our temple, taking care of it, but like, how does that fit in the bigger picture of life, and helping people find more contentment in the journey versus just in a physique. So in terms of the vanity of it, our society worships beauty and worships the things that are seen, money and success and that sort of thing. So the vanity, it's placing something above God and placing how we look above God, or placing our wealth above God. That's a vain thing too, right? Placing anything before God and making it an idol. So for myself, I'd say where I would probably slip up would be putting my physique above God, or putting my career above God. And it's different for every single person. So it's not that I'm better than someone else because I struggle with body image and they struggle with drugs. You know what I'm saying? It's like we all have our different things that we struggle with. And so reconciling that just means giving it to God every single day and recognizing, okay, what am I trying to accomplish from this? Is it that I'm using my athletic ability, taking care of my body as my temple, helping other people, learning about health and, nutrition and weightlifting and that sort of thing in order to fulfill my purpose? Or am I doing it just to try to boost my ego and have people pat me on the back? So that's how I see that perspective. So I hope that was interesting. I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts below if you have thoughts on that, or how you think about that sort of thing too. So one question was, would I rather grocery shop and meal prep one time per week, or, and then it says ... probably asking me, would I rather grocery shop and meal prep once or multiple times per week? So usually I go to the store about once a week, and then the rest of the week, if I need things, I do like an online delivered to my door type of grocery, because I really don't like grocery shopping. I used to like it, but it's kind of an interesting place. I'll just leave it at that. So I just prefer not to be at the grocery store unless it's early in the morning. Okay, so next question. What is the worst thing you have ever done? This is getting personal. The worst thing I've ever done, I probably, to be honest, I have no idea like I can't like recall one thing that I would want to share with you guys. So I'd say maybe one of the biggest mistakes I made in terms of like regretting something would be like walking away from God for a couple of years. That would be like my regret. But in the big picture, it's actually been a blessing because it then impacted how my journey has been. So I wouldn't take it back. So not really a great answer. Okay, I'm going to answer one more. How do you stay disciplined with diet? So discipline is definitely something that has to be practiced. And so it hasn't been like an overnight thing where dieting or sticking to a certain amount of macros or being, just kind of being able to diet successfully has not been, it's not like an overnight thing. Discipline, believe it or not, it's a habit that has to be built. So it's going to be a struggle at first. I mean, I really struggled with my diet for years, but it was through that struggle that I built perseverance and built that discipline. And then I learned strategies and how to, successfully stick to, let's say, a contest prep diet or, just build that resilience or whatever it may be. And then also too, just the fact that I feel better when I eat healthy. Like currently I'm not dieting, but I still try to eat balanced and I try to eat, quote, healthy, by getting, fruits and vegetables and being responsible and not just eating crap all day. So that is what I would say is it's more about building habits and discipline than it's like not like an overnight thing. It's a process. So, all right, guys, a couple questions, kind of fun. So hope you're having a great day. If you have any comments, like how you would answer those questions, leave them below and we will chat soon.